What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to a special season review episode of If I Had a Hammer. If you're still enjoying the series, please hit the like button. Lets me know that you are interested, and I may come back and do this again in the near future. Now, it's been 5 years, so what I want to try and do here is show how the team has progressed stats-wise through the season, show the awards in the Premier League, and like I said, it's been 5 years since I took over West Ham. I haven't shown who the Champions League winners are. I haven't shown the Europa League, the FA Cup, Capital One Cup, so we're going to go through all of those, and then I'm going to have a little announcement for the series at the end of the episode, so I hope you stick with me until the end. So without further ado, let's take a look at all of the awards the players have won this season alone. So you have Bellerin setting the new average rating record, 8.26 in the Premier League. That's rather good. Arsenal have been rather phenomenal the last 5 years anyway, so he is very deserving of that award. Then we have Alexis Sanchez getting Footballer of the Year. Of course, he is still at Arsenal. He's 31 years old, 36 appearances, 18 goals, and just a tad under an 8 average rating. He is still a rather good player. Hector Bellerin winning the PFA Player of the Year. Of course, still with Arsenal. Just told you about that. He is also a very good player. Diego Costa, who is on Arsenal now for some reason unknown to me. 35 appearances, 23 goals, wins the Golden Boot above Harry Kane and Alexis Sanchez. Yes, Arsenal having a ton of goals to their name, but surprisingly only coming in third place. They weren't able to best Liverpool or Manchester City. Andrei Zivkovic once again winning the PFA Young Player of the Year. He is 23 years old at this point in time. I think this is the last time he can legally win that award, because I think 23 years old is the cutoff for Young Player of the Year. He had 38 appearances, 7 goals, 7.68 average rating. He is still a top quality player, even with moving to Manchester City. Goal of the season is Thorgan Hazard, who is, of course, Eden Hazard's brother, moving to Newcastle and apparently getting goal of the season on the 1st of January versus Stoke. Jonjo Shelvey and Jordan Ayew coming in second and third there. Simon Mignolet winning Golden Glove. Of course, he is still with Liverpool. Hashtag 5 more years. 32 appearances, only 20 goals conceded, and 19 clean sheets. That is a rather impressive feat. Geronimo Rulli getting second. He, of course, is at Arsenal now. And David De Gea, still with Manchester United, coming in third there. Sinisa Mihajlovic, the Liverpool manager, winning Manager of the Year because, of course, I have never seen a Manager of the Year that wasn't on the Premier League winning side win the Manager of the Year. So, keeping with tradition, Sinisa winning that. And then I have 2 players in the PFA Premier League Team of the Year. Victor Lindelof on defense and Vincent van der Drijke in the center mid role. And of course, you see a lot of Manchester United, Arsenal, and Man City players, with Christian Eriksen from Tottenham and Simon Mignolet from Liverpool rounding out the starting 11. Moving up to our team's Season of the Year awards, this is how it all breaks down in terms of awards. Vincent van der Drijke, far and away the fans voted player of the season, 62%, way ahead of Joel Poyampalo and Yuri Tielemans, getting 16 and 13% respectively. Vincent van der Drijke also getting goal of the season against Stoke. And be quite honest with you, this was not that great of a goal. Honestly, could have picked something a little bit better, but I'll show it to you in just a second. It's a great cut inside from Payet, crossing to the far side of the pitch. Vincent van der Drijke then dribbling, takes a shot, shoots at far post. It's a rather run-of-the-mill goal, to be quite honest with you. Just did not expect it to be considered goal of the season for West Ham, but it is what it is. I guess that's what the game decided to be the best goal for West Ham on the season. Signing of the season, of course, Yuri Tielemans, £15 million from Anderlecht, and Young Player of the Season, of course, Vincent van der Drijke, and we will get to those stats in just a second. Overall top goal scorer, Joel Poyampalo and Łukasz Teodorczyk with 18 goals to their name, though Joel Poyampalo he's slightly ahead of Łukasz because of he has played one less match than Łukasz. Highest average rating, Vincent van der Drijke with a 7.80. He also had the most assists on the club with 11, and I want to say that he also had 11 goals to his tally as well. If we actually go into the team sheet, and it shows, yes, Vincent van der Drijven with 11 goals to his name in 44 appearances. Kyan van der Broek with 11, Sebastian Driussi with 12, and of course Łukasz and Joel Poyampalo with 18 goals apiece. Actually, Łukasz playing in one less match to Joel, so that's why he is above Joel in that spot. So assists-wise, Vincent van der Drijven with the only double-digit assist tally. The assists were really spread out. That's nice. We didn't have just one complete setup man that's, players and opposing teams can key in on. It was really spread out amongst the teams. Driussi with 8, Payet with 8, Tielemans with 6, and Łukasz Teodorczyk with 5, rounding out the top 5. And as we said, Vincent van der Drijven with a 7.80 average rating, leading all the West Ham players. Yuri Tielemans in second with a 7.54, and Sam Byram, honestly, did not expect to see him up here in the top 3 with a 7.51 average rating through 29 matches. He had 5 assists, didn't have a single goals, but he must have had a bunch of key passes to get himself that high of a rating. Also a bunch of key tackles as well, I'm sure, to get the 7.51. Looking at the downside, we also had a couple of players where they were just consistently fouling and wasn't too good in our defense. Victor Lindelof getting the most yellow cards for the club, 12 yellow cards. He had not been sent off, which is good, but he plays that very physical style, which is good for us on the back line. I mean, we need to be physical to take the ball away, but sometimes he gets in a little trouble. He gave away a couple of penalties with yellow card fouls, so you need to watch out for that in the next season. And of course, the only 2 people that were sent off for the club, Mark Noble and Callum Chambers. Mark Noble's was a straight red, Callum Chambers a double yellow. Alright, so where does that put us in the actual Premier League, not just the team itself? How many players did we get top 5 in terms of stats throughout the Premier League? And it's not going to be in goals, because the top 5 there is Diego Costa with 23, Harry Kane with 20, Sanchez with 18, Sergio Aguero with 17, and Mohamed Salah from Liverpool with 15. Jordan Rhodes also getting 15, but a lot more appearances. Joel Poyampalo tying Serge Gnabry with 14 goals on the season in the league, playing in 27 league appearances. So not that bad. Honestly, not that bad whatsoever. Taking a look at average rating, Vincent van der Drijven coming in 5th place overall in the league with a 7.77. Of course, previously mentioned Hector Bellerin coming in 1st, Sanchez 2nd, Valery Lukovic in 3rd, Sylvain Wiedmer in 4th. Taking a look at player of the matches, most player of the matches, Hector Bellerin. We don't have anybody on that list. Most yellow cards in the league, Aka Akpro apparently getting the honors there, if you would like to call it honors. And 5, probably even more players getting 2 red cards in the league. As far as key passes go, Hector Bellerin probably leading towards his 8.24 average rating, having the most by a wide margin, 330 key passes. The second closest is Eden Hazard with 211. That's quite interesting right there. Key tackles, though, Victor Lindelof just edging out Antonio Rudiger from Everton with 49 key tackles, which leads to, like I said earlier, he is very aggressive in his defensive style. Yes, it leads to some yellow cards, but if he can time the tackles correctly, he is a playmaker on that defensive line. And now I'm going to just take a quick overview of the team stats throughout the Barclays Premier League. And the first one we pop up is average possession. Of course, West Ham, I tried to make it a very possession-based team. And as you can see, we are 3rd in overall possession, overall time with the ball, with 54.26% possession through all 38 matches. Just 3rd behind Tottenham and Arsenal. Like I said, it's all basically a control-based system, like what I had with second yellow cards formation and the anchor that I was running. Wanted to make it very controlled, very possession-heavy, and then if we needed to, hit them on the counter. Though sometimes possession is a little bit of a negative stat, so I need to think about tweaking that during the next season to make it a little bit more that we try to take our attacking chances when we get into the box and not hold on to the ball way too long, because that's really what has stifled our goal-scoring opportunities at the last third of the season, really. Moving on, I don't see a lot more stats that I can talk about. I mean, we can go goals. We had the fourth most goals scored in the league, 62, behind Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. But we did not have a good number of goals conceded. Actually, I believe that we had number 9. Yeah, we had way too many goals conceded, especially in that last third of the season. We had 43 goals conceded, seeing us in 9th place, which is not really good. It means our defensive skills need a little bit of tweaking. That's why I said at the end of last episode that I want to try and get a better center backing core. Maybe go and get 1 or 2 and swap out Tommy Hoban, Lucas, Callum Chambers. I'll figure something out. I'm keeping Victor Lindelof because he is a key player for the squad. So going to be looking into that. Going down the line. Oh, yeah, free kicks. Goals scored from free kicks. Coming up here. Actually, goals from corners. We had the joint tied most goals scored from corners with Manchester City with 8. And that's really indicative to the corner tactic that I used. It was originally a mix of second yellow cards and a strikerless tactic that I combined and formed into my own. And like I said, fortunately made us get really, really a good amount of chances coming from those corners. Set piece wise, however, from direct free kicks and indirect free kicks, it is something to be desired, as in the whole of the Premier League, only 5 goals scored from direct free kicks, and that's really shocking. I believe Second Yellow Card has said before that this is very, very strange, because if you go down to the Championship, look at this. West Brom having 8 goals from direct free kicks. This one team has scored more from direct free kicks than all of the Premier League. It's rather strange, and that's something that I think that needs to be looked into for the next FM game. This is definitely not realistic at all. And then when you get down into, oops, I'm not even close to it. You get down to goals from indirect free kicks. We are tied for second with Arsenal, having 8 goals from free kicks, indirect free kicks there. Manchester United with 9. I honestly don't know enough about what is constituted as a direct or an indirect free kick, so I cannot tell you where we would have gotten these goals from. But to see that at least in one aspect of set pieces from free kicks that we have scored a bunch of goals, that's really, really good. And now, before I show who has won the Champions League and the Europa League over the last 5 seasons, I want to show who is going to be brought up from the Championship into the Premier League for next season. You do know that Sunderland, Crystal Palace, and Bournemouth are going down. You saw that last episode. But let's see who exactly is coming up from the Championship. It looks like Brentford won the Championship playoff final on penalties over Wolves. Okay, so who is actually going to be coming up? West Brom and Aston Villa are automatically getting promoted from the Championship back up into the Premier League. And of course, Hull, Leeds, and Wolves were also part of that playoff spot. I honestly thought Leeds or Wolves would have been coming out of that, but it looks like it's Brentford that is moving up into the Premier League. Very sad to see Portsmouth, Bolton, and Charlton moving down into League One, with Middlesbrough and Reading sitting there on the precipice as well of relegation. Who is actually coming up from League One then? Burton Albion won the League One playoff finals, as well as Rotherham and Millwall getting the automatic promotion up. Very, very interesting. And then you see Doncaster, Carlisle, Crewe, and Southend getting relegated out of League One, and who is coming up from League Two. The playoff finals have not finished, but Wrexham, Wickham, and Chesterfield, the 3 automatically promoted, with Crawley and Plymouth Argyle, possibly one of the 2, getting up into League One. So, outside of that, let's actually take a look at the Champions League right now. Champions League holders, Real Madrid, as they beat Bayern Munich by the score of 1-0 in this season's final. But taking a look at the past results, Juventus won it last season, Bayern 2 seasons ago, Barcelona 3 seasons ago, and in the very first season, FC Bayern winning it once again. So not a single shocking team that came up and you take a look at them and say, oh, they won the Champions League. How did they do that? Nope, it pretty much seems to be the status quo in the save. Now let's take a look at the Europa League and see who won it there. Oh, wow. I just saw it right off the top. Tottenham Hotspur has won the Europa League by beating Leverkusen, Bayer Leverkusen 2-1 in the final this season. Previously, PSG PSG winning the Europa League, actually losing in a group stage to get to the Europa League, is rather shocking to begin with. But, you know, whatever. Then you got Benfica, Milan, and CSKA Moscow in the very first season of this save, winning the Europa League. So, honestly, if I'd have to say, the two shocks would be PSG and Milan. AC Milan having to go through, I would honestly have to say, losing out in the group stage, finishing third. I'm pretty sure PSG did the same thing there. But yeah, those are definitely two shocks I was not expecting after going through this. It's amazing. And then finally, the two domestic cups. We'll take a look at the FA Cup first, and it was won by Man City this season by beating Burnley. Burnley getting to the final of an FA Cup, and Man City promptly destroying them by the score of 4-0. Previously, it was Arsenal, and then 2 seasons ago, Norwich City, the Canaries, picking up an FA Cup win. Chelsea winning before that, and in the very first season of this save, Newcastle United winning the FA Cup. How about that? And then finally, the Capital One Cup, Arsenal winning that this season over Watford by the score of 3-0. Before that, Tottenham Hotspur, then Sunderland winning the Capital One Cup. Before that, Tottenham once again, and then Chelsea in the very first season as they repeat from the season before. And with that, that's pretty much the season roundup. Now to explain what I want to be doing with this series going forward. To be quite honest with you, I feel like I am closer to this goal with what I want to do with West Ham United than I am with Sheffield FC over in my world's first save. And to be quite honest with you, I want to start putting more time and effort into Sheffield FC and trying to build up that squad than with West Ham United. I feel like with this squad, I have enough money and talent so that I can reload and come back next season and possibly achieve top 5 for the next few seasons. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pulling back the amount of uploads with West Ham. I'm going to pull it back to just Sunday uploads only, once a week, and fill in that spot on Tuesday with a Sheffield FC upload. So there's going to be 3 uploads with Sheffield FC every week compared to 1 with West Ham United. And I hope that you guys don't, get too mad or get too angry with what I'm proposing here, but that's just how I feel with where this series is right now and where I want to go with it, along with where I want to go with Sheffield FC. So from here on out, every Sunday, you're going to get a West Ham United save, and then the rest of the week, you're going to get 3 Sheffield FC saves. So I hope that you tune into that series as well if you are following this one. But at the same time, I hope you will still watch the West Ham United saves. And for those of you who are watching the series, one or both, I'd like to thank you very much for doing that. And that's where I'm going to end it for today. So if you liked what you saw, please hit that like button. Lets me know that you are still interested in the series. And subscribe if you're new and you want to see more FM content on the channel. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else at all, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.